Let's start with a hard, cold truth that the fitness industry spends billions of dollars trying to hide from you. Modern bodybuilding is suffering from a terminal illness. It is the illness of more. If you walk into any commercial gym in the world today, you will see the same tragic scene repeated over and over again. You see natural lifters, people just like you, spending 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, performing set after set of mindless, repetitive movements. They follow the bro splits popularized by professional bodybuilders, athletes who possess elite genetics and, more importantly, are chemically enhanced. These natural lifters believe a fundamental lie. They believe that if they just do more work, they will get more results. They are wrong. In fact, they are moving in the opposite direction of their goals. You must understand the fundamental biological law of recovery. As a natural athlete, your body's ability to repair muscle tissue is strictly governed by your hormonal limits. You do not have an infinite reservoir of biochemical resources. You do not have a synthetic supply of testosterone to bypass the laws of human nature. Every single set you perform beyond the absolute minimum required to trigger growth is not just extra work, it is a direct theft from your recovery system. It is like taking a withdrawal from a bank account that is already overdrawn. Mike Mentzer, perhaps the most logical and brilliant mind in the history of this sport, was the first to realize that the entire bodybuilding industry was built on a massive illogical fallacy, the idea that volume is the primary driver of progress. To understand why this is wrong, we have to look at what exercise actually is. Exercise is not a gain. Exercise is a physiological stressor. It is an attack on the body's internal balance, or homeostasis. When you lift a heavy barbell, you're sending a message to your brain that the environment is dangerous and that your current muscle mass is insufficient to handle the stress. Logically, the body, being a survival machine, responds to that danger by building new muscle tissue as a defensive shield. But here is the critical point. The body only needs one clear, unmistakable, high-intensity signal to start that process. Once that signal is sent, doing more work doesn't make the signal louder, it just makes the recovery hole deeper. Think of it this way. If you take a stick of dynamite and hit it once with a heavy hammer, it explodes. Hitting it 10 more times after the explosion has already occurred is not only useless, it's insane. It won't make the explosion bigger or better. The reaction has already been triggered. Natural bodybuilders today are hitting the dynamite 100 times a day and wondering why they feel chronically exhausted, why their joints ache, and why their muscles aren't growing. They have turned the gym into a marathon of endurance, but muscle growth is a sprint of power. Heavy duty is the only logical antidote to this collective madness. It is the realization that for the natural man, intensity and volume are inversely proportional. You can train hard or you can train long, but you cannot, under any circumstances, do both at the same time. If you are capable of training for 2 hours, you are not training with the intensity required to force an adaptation. Today, we stop being endurance junkies. We stop working out and start stimulating growth through precise scientific application of stress. We are moving away from the mindless quantity of movement and toward the absolute quality of the stimulus. This is the first and most important step toward your true physical potential, accepting the reality that for a natural lifter, less is not just more, less is the only way to win. This is the foundation of the heavy-duty revolution, and it begins now.
If volume is the enemy we must defeat, then intensity is the only ally we have left. But we must define our terms. What is intensity? In the heavy-duty system, intensity is not measured by how much you sweat or how long you stay in the gym. It is defined by one thing and one thing only: absolute muscular failure. The harsh reality is that 99% of people in your gym right now have never actually reached a state of true failure. They stop a set when the muscle starts to burn. They stop when their breathing gets heavy. They stop because the weight becomes uncomfortable or because they reached a pre-planned number of 10 reps. In the heavy-duty program, That is exactly where the set begins. To understand how to grow, you must understand the all-or-nothing principle of human muscle fiber recruitment. Your body is an incredibly efficient machine. It will always try to use the absolute minimum amount of energy and muscle tissue required to move a weight. During the first 6 or 7 repetitions of a heavy set, you are only using your weak, high-endurance, low-threshold muscle fibers. They are easy to recover from, but they have almost zero potential for growth. As the set continues and those fibers become exhausted, your central nervous system is forced to recruit the high-threshold, fast-twitch fibers. These are the power fibers. These are the only fibers capable of massive hypertrophy. And here is the secret. They only come into play when the body is pushed to its absolute limit-breaking capacity. True failure is the point at which your brain is firing every possible signal to the muscle. Your fibers are contracting with maximum force. You are giving 100% of your conscious will, and yet the bar does not move an inch. It is a moment of total physical stasis. It is the most difficult, painful, and psychologically demanding moment you can experience in the gym, and it is the only moment that matters. Mike Mentzer called this the growth trigger. If you complete a set and feel like you could have done even one more micro repetition if your life depended on it, then you have failed the test. You have not triggered growth, you have only wasted your limited recovery energy. This is the scientific reason why heavy duty demands only one set per exercise, one single set to absolute failure. If you find that you can perform a second set of an exercise with the same weight shortly after the first, it is mathematical, irrefutable proof that you did not go to 100% intensity in the first set. You cannot give 100% twice in a row. It is a biological impossibility. Think of it like a light switch on a wall. You don't need to flip the switch 5 times to turn the light on. You flip it once with enough decisive force to lock it into place, and the room floods with light. Following this path requires a radical, almost violent shift in your training psychology. You must stop being a rep counter and start becoming a failure hunter. You must enter the gym with a cold, surgical, and terrifying focus. Your goal is not to get a pump or to look good in the mirror. Your goal is to find that wall of failure and try to smash your way through it. For a natural lifter who cannot rely on chemical assistance to recover from massive volume, intensity is the only tool powerful enough to override the body's natural, conservative resistance to building new muscle tissue. It is a brief, violent, and total effort of the human spirit. It is the point where the mind takes command when the body is screaming to quit. One set, total failure, maximum growth. That is the law of the iron. No excuses, no second chances, just the truth of the effort.
Theory without structure is useless. To build a massive natural physique, we cannot waste energy on fluff exercises. We are building a foundation of granite. The Consolidated Routine is the most efficient split ever devised. We divide the system into 2 sessions, Workout A and Workout B. You will never train 2 days in a row. The minimum rest is 48 to 72 hours. Workout A, the power push, chest, shoulders, and triceps. We use the pre-exhaustion principle. We start with an isolation movement, like dumbbell flies. Immediately, within seconds, you move to a compound move, like incline press or dips. Why? Because in a press, your small triceps fail before your chest is fully stimulated. Pre-exhausting ensures both muscle groups hit the wall at once. 1 set of flies, 1 set of presses. That is your entire chest workout. Follow with lateral raises and tricep press downs. You are out in 20 minutes. Calm, focused tone. B workout, the foundation, back and legs. We begin with the deadlift. Emphasis, 1 set of 6 to 10 reps.
This movement stimulates everything from your calves to your neck. Follow this with lat pull-downs for thickness. Serious, then the most brutal part, legs. Whisper. Leg extensions to failure, followed immediately by leg presses or squats. Pause. This is where most men quit. If you can walk normally after this superset, you didn't reach the required intensity. Finish with calf raises. Done. You might ask, 5 sets? How is that enough? Aggressive. It's enough because you've never experienced the horror of a true heavy-duty set. Logical. 5 sets of absolute, bone-crushing failure are infinitely more productive than 50 sets of moderate effort. Inspirational. Every rep must be a masterpiece. 4 seconds up, 2 seconds of static hold, 4 seconds down. Finality. Eliminate momentum, execute with surgical precision, and the body must respond. Now we come to the part 99% of lifters ignore, the recovery equation. Burn this into your mind. Exercise does not produce growth. Exercise stimulates growth. The actual construction of muscle happens only when you are away from the gym. Your recovery ability is like a battery. Every high-intensity set drains it. If you train before the battery is 100% recharged, you aren't building muscle. You are cannibalizing your own tissue. Most natural bodybuilders are chronically overtrained. They believe training 6 days a week makes them hardcore. In reality, they are just slowing their own progress. After a true heavy-duty workout, it takes the body up to 48 hours just to return to baseline energy. Only after that baseline is reached does overcompensation begin. This is when the body builds new muscle. If you go back on day 3, you interrupt the very growth you were trying to achieve. As you get stronger, you must train less, not more. A man deadlifting 500 pounds creates a much larger systemic drain than a beginner. Therefore, the stronger you get, the more rest you need. We often advocate for 4 to 7 full days of rest between sessions. It takes more discipline to rest than it does to train. You must have the courage to stay home. Nutrition and sleep are the raw materials. Without 8 hours of deep sleep, your hormones won't support growth. You need a slight caloric surplus and high-quality protein. But poignete, all the food in the world won't overcome a lack of rest. If your strength is not increasing every single workout, more reps or more weight, you are overtrained. You are hitting the dynamite too often. Respect the biology, trust the logic. Growth happens in the dark. Give it the time it needs to speak.
We have dissected the sets and the biology. Your mind. Heavy duty is a psychological war. Most fail, not because their muscles are weak, but because their will is soft. They cannot handle the sheer agony of a set taken to total failure. To perform one set to absolute stasis requires a level of focus that most human beings will never experience. Think of the biology of fear. When you are under a heavy barbell, your lungs screaming for oxygen, your brain enters a state of panic. Your survival instinct kicks in. It tells you that you are in danger and should rack the weight. That is where the volume lifter quits. They convince themselves they did enough, but that is where the heavy-duty athlete begins. Bodybuilding is 90% mental. Your brain is a conservative organ. It is programmed to protect you. To succeed, you must override your survival instincts. You must view pain not as a warning, but as a data point. You do not try to do a rep. You execute it with clinical violence. You enter the gym with a search and destroy mission. You aren't there to socialize or look in the mirror. You are there for a controlled act of self-imposed trauma. You are hunting for that one rep that feels impossible, the one where your body shakes and the world disappears. In that moment of total stasis, growth is born. If you don't have the discipline to smash through the pain barrier, science won't save you. There is nothing nice about heavy duty. It is an honest confrontation with your limits. Build the mind, and the body will follow.
We have reached the beginning of your new reality. Here is your roadmap to greatness. Step 1. Document everything. If you don't carry a logbook, you are a tourist. Heavy duty is built on progressive overload. If you did 10 reps last week, you must do 11 this week. If the numbers aren't moving, you aren't growing. There is no room for guessing. Step 2. Control the tempo. Speed is the enemy of tension. We don't throw weights. 4 seconds up, 2 seconds hold, 4 seconds down. Eliminate the ego that wants to lift heavy with bad form. Step 3. Respect frequency. As strength increases, systemic drain increases. If you feel tired or unmotivated, stay home. An extra day of rest is more valuable than a wasted session. Mike Mentzer didn't become a legend by following the herd. He used logic, science, and a brutal honesty that made people uncomfortable. You have the tools now. You have the secret the industry tries to suppress because it doesn't sell supplements or easy fixes. It only sells results through the most difficult work imaginable. This journey is not for the masses. Most will go back to high-volume routines because it's easier on their ego. But you know that intensity is the only bridge to your goals. Go to the gym, pick up the iron, give it every ounce of your spirit for one perfect set. Then walk out, eat, sleep, and let biology work. The path is shorter than you think, but steeper than you imagine. Sacrifice comfort. Commit to logic. This is heavy duty. This is your science. This is your time. Now go to work.